For over 20 years, Orchard Hills has been a church with a simple focus: to be a group of ordinary people investing in people for the sake of eternity. Through the years, God has blessed this vision and allowed us to join in His kingdom work as we've seen people come, grow, and go, following Jesus and making disciples both here and around the world. As we planted churches, expanded our facilities, sent people out on mission, and served our local community, God has continued to grow us into a healthy and vibrant church. Our focus remains consistent, however, our needs have changed. From 2021 to 2024, our average weekly attendance went from 367 to 638, but we have not been able to maintain that level of growth due to our space limitations. Our sanctuary is at max capacity. We have no indoor space for large gatherings, and our lobby is an uncomfortable bottleneck. As the ministries of OHC continue to expand, we find ourselves limited by our facilities and at a pivotal moment in our story. We believe the time has come for us to step forward in bold faith, trusting God to provide the resources for the expansion of our facilities and ministries. As we've considered the task before us, we've been overwhelmed at times by the need. However, as we've sought the Lord and asked for His guidance, He has filled us with faith to believe that this and much more is possible together. As we stand united together with God and together with one another, we believe that God will accomplish this vision for the expansion of both our ministries and facilities through the faithfulness of us, His people. As we entrust to God what He has entrusted to us, we believe that we will see the Lord do even greater things in our midst. So, what about you? As we step into this new season as a church, will you lean in and ask how God would have you play a part? We believe that together, with God's leading and our obedience, anything is possible.
All right. Hey, well, thank you guys for being here. You guys are going to be the ambassadors for the church, to take this message and everything you're hearing tonight to the masses. And we are recording this so other people can watch it online as well. But one of the things you see from that video, if this is new to you, is you get a little sense of the history of the church, right? And so I don't want to go and kind of recap all of that. You can get a good idea of where we've been and also where we're going as a result of that. What I would like to do is just encourage you, if you've got your one-pager, so if you don't know where it is, it's under your rear end at this moment, because there was one on every seat. And I want you to turn to the side that says, "What God has done." What God has done. And this is a further recap of really what the video did. But it's just really been amazing just over the last year, all that God has done in our midst and the lives that have been changed. You see there of just some more of the baptisms that took place and how God's just been really working in the lives of men and women and children alike. People are coming to faith. People are expressing that through baptism, and it's just been super encouraging. Our special needs ministry has continued to grow, and there's some neat partnerships that are happening. So if you're not familiar with this, what we do here at Orchard Hills isn't meant to be limited to Orchard Hills. We're all about partnering with others around the valley and even around the world to really see that God's kingdom comes and His will is done. And so we're seeing that within the special needs ministry. We've got our Mosaic class that goes on between the services, and then we've got a neat partnership now with Masterpiece Alliance, which is a newer ministry in the valley, and that's been pretty exciting. And if you look at that one picture there to the left, those are all folks part of Masterpiece Alliance that gathered here and used our outdoor pavilion, which has been a great blessing to us. We've used that for so many different things. People in the community have used it. The seniors in Botetourt County have had multiple meetings out there and meals, so that's been really pretty exciting. And the third picture down, you see the progress that we've made with the parking lot. And so I want to just thank Jerry Stump and his company, Dirt Artists. They have done all that work for free. And we're talking about like hundreds of thousands of dollars of earth movement because we ran into a little snag. When they started excavating, we found out that we have a lot of topsoil, which when I heard that, I was like, that's awesome. Like, everybody wants topsoil. They're like, no, it's not awesome. When you're trying to get a piece of land compacted for a parking lot, you don't want topsoil. You need more of that clay. And so they had to take out, I don't even know how many loads, at least 100, maybe 200 loads of dirt off premises. And so that delayed us, but they've been wonderful. And now it is ready to be seeded, the area that is not going to be parking. And then by the end of the week, they're supposed to start working on the parking lot. And hopefully by the end of next week, it should be paved. So that's really encouraging, right? So that's where we are on that. And then, we're all about doing ministry, not just locally, but abroad too. And I love that little picture down there. And that's in the Dominican Republic. And we continue to be focused there. We're taking a group of us over to Rwanda next month and maintaining that partnership, which we've had for, over, 21 years now, and just fruitful ministry, but really sweetness of our relationships that we have there. So you've got all those things going on and so much more. We have the day school continues to prosper and make a difference in the community. I was at a soccer game at Greenfield. If you ever want to see everybody in the community, go to Greenfield Center on Saturday mornings and afternoons, and it seems like everybody in Botetourt County will be there at some point if they have a child, a grandchild, or somebody that they know that plays soccer. And it was fun because I was at this one game, and there was this kid and his parents, and this kid and her parents over here, and they all were part of the day school. They don't go to our church, but they've all been connected to the church through the day school. And it was fun to see that connection, that ministry. And then I looked around and I'm like, he goes to our church, she goes to our church. Like, it was just really encouraging. So lots of good things happening there. The Achievement Center still is going and thriving and can always use more money, obviously, but having a great impact in the community. I was thinking about the Fiesta fundraiser this morning and all those Hispanic families who gave so generously of their resources. Like, they provided all that food, and then they did all the work. And the neat thing is, because we've been at this for so long, when I go out there, those people aren't a project. They're part of us. They're our people. And it's just so fun to go out there and embrace them and thank them and just realize we're all in this together. So that's exciting. So there's those types of things and so much more that God's been doing through the ministry here at Orchard Hills. There's also the One Roanoke movement, if you've been familiar with that at all, as we've talked about it, where we're really working hard to try and bring churches around the valley together as the church, that there's really only one church. But we're trying to break down some barriers there too and help people see that it's not about churches, like Orchard Hills or Bonsack Baptist. The church is bigger than these boxes, right? And that we are the church. And so we're also trying to pull in parachurch ministries, nonprofit ministries that are focused on the gospel as well and include them. And now we're expanding into businesses, and we're reaching out to Christian business leaders and trying to invite them into the process, because we recognize that together, again, when we pool our resources, when we capitalize on our synergies, and we are more efficient and effective together. So we're really working hard on that. And it is a labor, I got to tell you, because everybody's busy and it's hard to get people focused on that and to dedicate the time, but we are making the effort. And so it's exciting to be a part of that. Now, I want you to take your one pager and flip to the other side. Now you'll see a note from me. I'm not going to read that to you. You can read it. It is really, it's motivating. It brings me to tears sometimes. Like, I just, at night, just read this and just cry. But seriously, in the first paragraph, there are some incredible testimonies of what God's been doing in different people's lives. And so if you have a moment, read through that and just be encouraged, because if you're a part of Orchard Hills, you're part of these testimonies. This wouldn't be possible without you. And so be encouraged that God is using each of us to really impact the lives of some folks that we don't even know. Some folks that we don't even know. And that's what I love. I love to see things happening where we don't get the credit. And then you can keep on reading there, and you'll see a little talk about money and the pledges and all of that. I would just say this to encourage us. Right now, we're right on track with our giving. So we've got a system, and we still have our consultant, Derek, who checks on us every month. And it's been encouraging. He's like, you guys are right on pace. You may be a little ahead of pace with your giving. People are honoring their pledges and their commitments. And so be encouraged about that. And I don't know about you all, but God has honored the commitment that we've made. And so we've been, able to faithfully meet our commitment on a monthly basis. And we have not missed a meal yet, have we? Like, God has provided everything we've needed. We have not been out in the wilderness because we don't have shelter. Clearly we are well clothed. God's been so great. He's met every single one of our needs. We are not lacking for anything. And not only that, so this was a cool thing. So how many Botetourt County school, teachers, officials, administrators, anybody? We've got a couple, yeah. So just at the beginning of this month, right, you got a double paycheck. We got a double paycheck. Wasn't that awesome? I was like, we saw that as God's provision, where sometimes I think if you're not a giver, then you don't necessarily look at whatever you receive as God's provision. And so Carolyn, she's the more godly one, if you didn't know that. But her first response was, well, we can do a double tithe this month. Isn't this awesome? And I was like, that is awesome. That's not what I was thinking, but that is great. Like, now we're a little ahead of schedule on our giving, but that's how God provides. And I'm still waiting for that windfall. I thought the 1.8 billion might come our way. It did not. I did fail to buy a ticket, so that could have contributed to it. But anyhow, I was praying for one of you all to do that. I'd rather your life be ruined than mine. No, just kidding. Anyhow, I don't think that's how God's going to do it around here. I think it's going to be just us continuing to be faithful, just doing our part, however big or small it may appear. And I think God's going to just honor that, and he's going to bless us, and he's going to continue to just provide everything we need, just like we were singing, because he's not closed-handed, is he? He's open-handed. And that's how we need to be, don't we? We want to be open-handed with God, but we want to be open-handed with each other as well. And I think that's the heart, isn't it? Don't you think that's the heart of our church? That's one of the things I love about our church. We just tend to be open-handed toward God and towards others. Talking about giving isn't something I ever dread. I mean, it's a joy to talk about it because I've seen the blessings that come from it, and I think most of you guys have as well. So anyhow, that's that. Let me go to the goals of Together, just to bring you up to speed. Some of you maybe are newer and weren't a part of this. Some of you I know weren't a part of this a year ago. But our initial goal was $8 million. So we were thinking it's this one fund approach. So over 2 years, we wanted to cover all of our operating budget, which is roughly $3 million over 2 years. And then we were anticipating, it was an estimate, that somewhere around $5 million would be the cost of the facility addition. Well, we never thought we would hit 8 million. All right, we were just kind of hoping, could we get at least 5? Like, if we could get a commitment for 5, that would be pretty good. But 6, like if we could get 6, that would be really good. And guess what? Like, we got that. We got that. The consultant was saying, he was like, to get 8, you're going to need 1 or 2 people to give $1 million. And I was like, And so I'm still like, So if that person or persons are out there, there's still time. Okay, there's still time. But as we've then been working with a contractor and they've gotten hard numbers, so they've gone and gone to all the subs and gotten real numbers, that $5 million that we thought is more like $6.5 million when we look at all the construction costs. And then do you know how much lighting and sound costs? Like that's hundreds of thousands of dollars. It was crazy to me. And so anyhow, so here's where we are with that. So we got about an estimated $6 million of the $8 million that we expect to come in over the 2-year period. So that started the end of last year, and we're coming right up on the 1-year anniversary. So far, to date, we've collected about $2.5 million. So that's pretty good. We're right on track with the giving. Now, let me bring you up to speed with where we are on the building. I've already mentioned the parking lot, and all that work down there was done for free, but now we've got to pave it, and you got to put curb and guttering and all that stuff. You got to line it. That's a little over $200,000 for that. So if you've ever tried to pave your driveway, you know it's not cheap to pave, but a big parking lot is even more expensive. So we've got to do that. Right now in the bank, we've got about $1.3 million that we can use towards construction. So that's pretty exciting, right? Do you guys like looking at your bank account when it's going up? I don't look at ours because it's seldom going up, but I love looking at the churches right now because it just keeps going up like this, and it's fun. So I'm a little scared and sad to think that we're going to have to spend it and it's going to go down. But we've got this money sitting there, so we can pave the parking lot. Then we've got a good chunk already in hand to start the construction process. So here's what they're telling us. To get all that under roof is $3 million. To get all the addition under roof is $3 million. So that's a new sanctuary. It's a new entrance and foyer area. It's a couple more big classrooms over there. $3 million. Well, if you look at our pledges and you look at what we've committed and what we've given, I think we can do that. Like we're pretty much on track. We'll need a little more than was pledged to get it paid for under roof, because in case you don't know this, we're not planning to go into debt over this. So we're trying to pay for it as we go. We're paying for it as we go, and our contractor is working with us. And he said, Scott, whenever we've got to stop, you just say stop, and we'll pause, which is so kind. Now, it's costly to pause, right? Because they got to pull off, and you have to weatherize whatever they're doing and things like that. But they're so helpful and considerate of where we are. So, and they're Christians too, so that helps. So here's the deal. Paving in the next couple weeks, then hopefully by the end of the year, we're going to start the construction process, and the belief is that sometime next summer, we'll have it all under roof. So all of that would be under roof next summer. Wouldn't that be exciting? Super cool, right? But we need the $3 million. So that may mean that we need to be praying, okay, God, like I may need to expedite my giving to try and see if instead of finishing up in October or November, is there a way that I could finish up my giving like in June? Is that a possibility? Can we expedite some of that? I don't know. Or maybe you just pray, God, could you give me a windfall? And I'll put it towards that. I don't know how he's going to do it, but I really feel good and confident that we can get this done. We can get it under roof and we can pay for it. Sound reasonable to you guys? I think that's reasonable, right? Then to finish it, it's going to be about 3.5 more. So that's more than we've got pledged. So we'll have to, continue this program on for another year or two, I'm guessing, and see if we can continue to, dig deep, or maybe dig a little deeper, or new people come in and they want to be a part of this, and see if we can't raise that. But I'm confident that we'll be able to do that, because already a lot of us have established new norms with our giving. And once you sort of get into that routine, it's not that hard to continue that. And I think we'll easily be able to exceed our operations budget without like substantial additional giving, like those one-time lump sums. We'll need those, certainly, if we're going to reach $3.5 million. But I think we're going to have a significant amount that will be given that we can use toward the building, just if we maintain our current levels of commitment. So I'm very encouraged about that because Bill and I were talking. We're like, we can't wait for this. We've been around a while. We can't wait for this thing to get done. And we're like, we just hope we live to see it. Like I'm getting to that point. I'm like, Lord, I don't know what. Anyhow, so I think it's all within the realm of reasonableness that in the next, 3 or 4 years, this thing will be complete and it'll be paid for, which would be super sweet, wouldn't it? Because we don't want to be burdened by a lot of debt. We don't want our ministry to be hampered because of a building. See, we want the building to help foster the ministry, and we believe that's what's going to happen. We have been really good stewards, I think, of the facilities that God has blessed us with. I mean, it's like we're wringing these things out, This building is occupied and used pretty much every day of the week from 6:30 in the morning till sometimes 8 or 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And I think God's pleased with that. It's not just this big shell of a building that's used for a couple hours on a Sunday. It's used. We're using it, and we're using it for God's kingdom. I think He loves that. I think He's going to bless that as He already has, and He's going to continue to honor our efforts. So that's what I'm believing. Let's see what else I've got. What can you do? So now you can flip back on the back side of your one-pager. And again, our hope has been that every person that comes here will be a part of this and will want to contribute in some way. We've got great testimonials. We're going to do some videos of some of your testimonials and share over the next coming weeks about what God's been doing through this call to greater generosity. And I believe there's more that each and every one of us can step into there. We're also going to ask for a 1-year commitment. So you guys also, under your rear end, is probably a commitment card. This may look familiar to you from last year if you were part of it, but these have been changed. So now it's just a 1-year commitment card that we're looking at. And so, for instance, it says, I'm new to the Together Initiative. My commitment for 1 year is, so if you're new and you haven't made a commitment and you'd like to, you would just fill something in there. And then if you've been around, my original giving plan for the next 12 months that's coming up would be X, and then my expanded or one-time gift will be Y. So maybe God's just touching your heart and He's saying, look, I want you to give a one-time gift of X amount over and above what you've already pledged. You would put that there, and then you'd have your new next 12-month giving. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn these in. We're going to have another Commitment Sunday, and that's going to be on Sunday, November 2nd. So that will be coming up, and we will turn these cards back in at that point in time. We're also going to do a little mini series in October, starting the 5th, about this Together Initiative, but we're going to focus on a different scripture. And if you were part of it last year when we were going through Acts 2, I think you would agree it was a great series, and it wasn't like you're just getting beat over the head with us telling you need to give, anyhow. You were there. It was good, all right, even if I was part of that. So at least Sutton was good. We can at least all agree to that. Everybody loves Sutton, so Sutton can do no wrong. So Sutton did a great job on that Together series, and he's going to do a great job on this one too. So with that, here's what we're going to do. I think that's it. Here's what we want to do. Sutton is going to lead us like the Pied Piper, and we're going to go outside now, and we're going to go into the new sanctuary, or you're going to go into the new welcome area. Remember, this wall here and that wall there, they're all going down. So imagine when you come into that new entrance that you can see out there, it's just going to be all of this big expanse. I mean, it's going to be so wonderful that we shouldn't be all bottlenecked up. We can hang out and eat and do the things that we love to do, right? So that's that. There's going to be some classrooms at the end you can go check out. There's a bathroom all the way to the end there. I would use the one indoors first before you go outside because there's no plumbing. But anyhow, you'll see where that bathroom's going to be, the sacristy, the baptistry, the stage, all that. So with that, let's all get up and head outside.